Imagine, imagine for a second that you run this booming local restaurant. You have completely dialed in the perfect menu.
Right.
The kitchen is just, firing on all cylinders on a Friday night. And an order pings through your website's online ordering widget.
Oh, okay. Setting the scene.
Right. So your line cooks, they crush it. The food is boxed up perfectly. It goes out the door. The customer eats it in their living room while watching Netflix. They are totally satisfied with the meal, and then they completely forget about you.
Oh, yeah.
You got the sale, which, feels great in the moment, but you lost the relationship. Because the next time they want takeout, they might just accidentally stumble across your website again. Or, worse, they open a delivery app and stumble across your competitor.
It is a phenomenal example of the classic transactional trap.
Exactly.
A business in that scenario is basically surviving order to order, but they aren't actually building a recognizable digital footprint in that customer's daily life,
Yeah.
The relationship just vanishes the moment the pizza box goes into the recycling bin.
And that invisible barrier between a restaurant and its customers is, well, it's what we are looking at today. We are doing a deep dive into a comprehensive guide titled How to Leave GloriaFood for a Branded Ordering App.
Yeah, it's a great piece.
It really is. Our sources cover everything from the hidden costs of those basic, entry-level ordering widgets to a complete migration plan for getting out of them.
And while it sounds like a very specific IT challenge, it actually represents a massive fundamental shift in how local businesses operate online today.
So the mission for our deep dive today is to demystify this leap. We want to look at how you go from essentially renting a tiny, easily forgotten corner of the internet to actually owning your digital storefront.
Right.
And crucially, how you pull off that transition without, completely disrupting your day-to-day business or losing a single order.
Because that's the nightmare scenario.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, let's unpack this. Because whether you are a business owner trying to scale, a tech enthusiast, or just insanely curious about the logistics behind your Friday night takeout, this is basically a masterclass in digital scaling.
To really grasp the solution, though, we kind of have to look closely at the problem first. The sources spend a lot of time analyzing this concept of the success trap that comes with using a basic widget like GloriaFood.
It makes me think of like setting up a highly profitable lemonade stand, but you're doing it in someone else's front yard.
Yes. Perfect analogy.
Right. Like starting out on a platform like GloriaFood is a fantastic low-investment way to get online orders flowing when you first open.
Yeah.
But as your restaurant grows and, your customer base expands, that front yard starts to feel remarkably small.
Very small.
The limitations go from being mild annoyances to an absolute straitjacket for your operations.
And what's fascinating here is how a platform's greatest initial strength, in this case, being a simple, easy-to-install piece of code that just floats on your website, eventually becomes its biggest weakness.
How so?
Well, because the entire system works through that embedded widget, your customers do not have a dedicated app with your restaurant's name and logo actually installed on their smartphone.
I have to push back on that a little, though. Is not having a tiny square logo on someone's phone screen really costing a business that much money?
In the modern digital economy, yes. Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, if you aren't on the customer's home screen, you are effectively invisible until they actively decide to open a web browser, remember your web address, and seek you out.
Oh, I see. You're relying entirely on their memory.
Exactly. Without that constant visual brand presence, that icon they swipe past every time they check their text messages, it is simply far too easy for behavioral friction to take over and for them to just order elsewhere.
Right. So it is this out of sight, out of mind vulnerability. But the sources highlight that the missing logo is really just the surface issue. The real straitjacket is what happens behind the scenes with the data.
That is the absolute core of the trap. The guide details a severe limitation in the ownership of customer data.
Because you don't own it.
Right. When a customer orders through a free widget, the platform stores the order history and the customer contact information. Growing restaurants eventually realize they need deeper, unrestricted access to that data to survive.
To actually build a business.
Yeah. If you want to integrate a real CRM, a customer relationship management system, you need full control.
Okay, let's break down that CRM concept for a second, because we hear that term thrown around in tech a lot.
Think of a CRM as a digital brain that remembers every interaction a customer has with your business.
Okay.
When you use a basic widget, you might know that you sold, say, 100 pizzas today. That is useful for inventory. But when you own the data through a CRM, you know exactly which 100 people bought those pizzas.
How interesting.
You might discover that, 40 of them always order on rainy Tuesdays.
Oh, wow. So instead of just hoping for the best next time it rains, you can actively do something with that information.
Exactly. You can send a highly targeted push notification at 4:30 p.m. on the next rainy Tuesday, offering a $2 discount on a pepperoni pizza.
That's brilliant.
It triggers an automatic sales spike based on actual behavioral data. But, and this is the kicker, you cannot build that kind of targeted loyalty program if the platform you are using restricts access to who your loyal customers actually are.
Which brings up the most ironic part of this entire success trap. GloriaFood built its reputation on being free to start. But as you grow, that free model effectively penalizes you for your own success.
Yes, the costs creep up.
Right. The sources note that as you handle more online orders or as you try to expand to a second or third location, you are forced to pay for more and more modular add-ons just to get, basic functionalities.
The initial appeal of free evaporates very quickly once you hit a certain volume. And the conversation in the guide then naturally shifts toward the alternative, which is migrating to a branded ordering app.
Allow me to play devil's advocate here again.
Go for it.
Building a custom app from scratch sounds like an incredibly expensive multi-month software engineering project. If I am running a busy kitchen, managing food costs, and dealing with staff turnovers, I do not have time to become a tech developer.
Right.
Why wouldn't a restaurant just bypass all of that and use a third-party marketplace? The big delivery platforms already have apps installed on millions of phones.
That is the default assumption for a massive number of business owners. And, it makes logical sense on the surface. But let us dismantle that assumption by looking at the raw economics provided in the source material.
The math is pretty shocking.
It is. Those third-party marketplaces charge a commission on every single order processed through their system. And that commission typically ranges from 15% all the way up to 30%.
30% of the top line. That isn't taking a slice of the profit. That is taking a massive chunk of the gross revenue before you even pay for the ingredients.
Yeah, the source provides a very sobering mathematical breakdown. Imagine a moderately busy restaurant processing $15,000 in monthly online orders through a marketplace app.
Okay, fairly standard.
If that marketplace takes a 25% commission, the restaurant is handing over $3,750 every single month.
That is essentially the entire salary of a full-time prep cook, just vanishing out the door.
Exactly. But a branded app operates on an entirely different economic foundation. Instead of surrendering a quarter of your gross revenue, you pay a flat monthly subscription.
A software as a service model.
Right. The guide estimates this costs between $50 and $300 a month, plus, standard payment processing fees, which are usually around 2.6 to 3.5% per transaction.
And here's where it gets really interesting. The source actually defines what building a branded app entails today, using a platform called Enatega as the prime example. It turns out we are not talking about hiring a team of software engineers in Silicon Valley to write code from scratch. The solution is what the industry calls a white label product.
Right. For those unfamiliar with the term, a white label solution is like buying a newly constructed house where all the complex plumbing, electrical wiring, and structural engineering are already finished.
Heavy lifting is done.
Exactly. The technology works flawlessly out of the box. You just come in, paint the walls in your brand colors, hang your signage, and put your name on the mailbox.
So Enatega basically gives the restaurant its own unique listing in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. It is not a shared widget. The customer downloads your specific logo.
Yes.
And you get all the features that previously seemed out of reach. Full data ownership, push notifications, SMS marketing, built-in loyalty programs, gift cards, all operating on that flat monthly fee instead of a per-order penalty.
The financial logic becomes completely undeniable at that point. It transforms the profit margins on digital orders. However, realizing the math makes sense is only the first step.
Right, because the logistics are terrifying.
Oh, the logistical reality of actually swapping out the core technology of a running business is what keeps most owners awake at night.
Because you cannot afford to close the restaurant for 3 days just to figure out your new software. You have to keep the orders flowing while making the switch.
Fortunately, the source material does not just suggest making the move. It provides a comprehensive 10-step blueprint for executing the migration without breaking your operations.
A literal step-by-step guide.
Yes. Rather than just a checklist, it helps to view this process in distinct thematic phases. The very first phase is the audit and extraction.
Steps 1 and 2. So before we build anything new, we have to meticulously inventory what we currently have.
It is the foundation of the entire project. You must securely export your existing data. This means downloading the entire menu architecture.
Every single item.
Every category, every price point, every food image, and every modifier. Furthermore, if your current plan permits it, you must extract your entire customer list and their order histories.
Okay, so once you have all those raw materials extracted and backed up, you move into steps 3 and 4, the build phase.
Right.
This involves selecting your flat rate provider, like Enatega, and designing the aesthetics. You are uploading your banners and creating custom splash screens so that when a customer taps the app on their phone, the digital experience actually matches the physical vibe of your dining room.
Crucial for branding.
But step 5, the critical part of this build phase, seems to be reconstructing the menu itself.
Menu migration is where these projects generally live or die. It sounds simple to just, type the items back into a new system.
Copy and paste, right?
You'd think. But the source emphasizes that microscopic errors at this stage will absolutely devastate the customer experience. Consider the logic of a complex order.
Okay, let's say someone orders a bacon cheeseburger, but they want to substitute the fries for onion rings, add a side of ranch, but they only want the ranch if it comes in a separate container, and they want the burger cooked medium rare.
Okay, that is a perfect example of a complex modifier tree. The database has to understand that replacing fries with onion rings might add a $1.50 upcharge.
Right.
While adding ranch is 50 cents and the cooking temperature is a free text modifier. If those nested add-ons are missing, priced incorrectly, or fail to communicate clearly to the kitchen display screen, it creates absolute chaos for the line cooks.
It's a domino effect.
And it guarantees the customer receives the wrong meal.
And honestly, if a customer goes through the trouble of downloading your brand new app only to receive a burger cooked wrong with missing onion rings, they're going to delete that app immediately.
Oh, without hesitation. This is a major reason the guide highlights Enatega in this context. Their platform offers dedicated menu migration support specifically engineered to handle complex customizations, ensuring you are not, manually rebuilding a fragile, intricate modifier tree completely from scratch.
Okay, so step 5 is done. The menu looks great, the burger is built perfectly in the system, but none of that matters if the customer's credit card gets declined. How do you handle the financial plumbing during a switch?
This brings us to step 6, the payment gateway integration phase. You have to connect the app to a processor like Stripe, PayPal, or Square.
Okay.
Think of the gateway as the digital bouncer that securely verifies the customer's funds and transfers them to your bank account in a fraction of a second. But simply connecting the account is not enough. You must run live simulated test orders.
Right, you want to make sure the money actually deposits into your account.
Yeah.
But the source points out something even more crucial here, testing the refunds.
A broken refund button during a dinner rush is a catastrophic failure.
I can imagine.
When a customer calls in furious because an item was missing from their bag, the shift manager needs to be able to hit one button to issue a partial refund. If that integration isn't tested and fails, you basically compound a minor mistake into a major customer service disaster.
Yeah, you do not want to be on hold with tech support while someone is yelling at you about fries.
Exactly.
So the plumbing is secure, the money flows. Now we hit steps 7 and 8, the rollout phase. The app exists, but nobody knows about it yet. You have to systematically hunt down and replace every single GloriaFood link on the internet.
Updating your digital real estate is a massive undertaking. Your website, your Google business profile, your Instagram bio, Yelp, Facebook, all of it.
And the physical stuff, too. You also have to print new physical QR codes for the table tents in the dining room and the stickers on the takeout bags.
Yep.
And you cannot just passively hope people decide to download a new app. You really have to overcome their inertia. The guide suggests bribing them a little, offering a substantial first-order discount or a free appetizer to financially incentivize that initial download.
It's the cost of acquisition.
Exactly. Finally, steps 9 and 10. You enter the monitoring phase. You watch the analytics closely for a few weeks, iron out any glitches, and once the new system is stable, you formally cancel the old GloriaFood account.
It sounds like a very clean, logical sequence on paper. But as the guide smartly acknowledges, technology migrations are rarely just about the software.
Right, because the software usually does exactly what you tell it to do. The messy part is the people.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the real challenge is human behavioral change. You are attempting to alter the established habits of hundreds or thousands of customers simultaneously.
That's daunting.
It is. The source identifies several danger zones where this behavioral friction causes critical failures. And the most insidious of these is a phenomenon of ghost links.
Ghost links sound like an absolute nightmare. Let's dig into the mechanics of why these are so dangerous.
A ghost link occurs when a customer finds an old ordering link that the restaurant forgot to update.
Like where?
It might be buried at the bottom of an automated email receipt from 2 years ago, or sitting on an obscure local directory website. The customer clicks it, selects their food, and submits the order.
But the kitchen has completely transitioned to the new app's tablets.
Exactly the problem. The old webhook, the API interface, might still actively accept that data payload. It processes the order and tells the customer, "Great, we'll see you in 20 minutes."
Oh, no.
But because the kitchen staff is no longer monitoring the old system's dashboard, that order drops into a digital void. The customer arrives hungry, the kitchen has no idea who they are, and trust is instantly destroyed.
It is the digital equivalent of dropping a letter into a mailbox that hasn't been collected in 6 months.
Yes.
You have to be ruthless about finding and updating every single link. But there is another massive behavioral trap the guide warns about, which is the temptation to run both systems concurrently for too long.
And it's a very common psychological safety net for owners. They want to keep the old system running just in case the new one has a bug or, just in case a customer prefers the old way.
It feels safer, but running both systems at once is like trying to ride 2 horses with 1 saddle.
That's a great way to put it.
You just can't do it. Having a busy kitchen with 2 different head chefs shouting orders in 2 completely different languages.
Yeah.
The prep cooks won't know who to listen to, tickets will inevitably get dropped, and the order reporting at the end of the night is completely fractured.
Not to mention, you are also actively training your customers that it is perfectly fine to ignore your new app.
Right.
You have to establish a hard cutoff date and stick to it.
The behavioral friction also impacts the customers directly, particularly concerning their payment data. As the source notes, due to strict PCI compliance and security protocols, you generally cannot seamlessly transfer a customer's saved credit card from an old platform to a newly branded app.
No, you can't just silently move their Visa card over. They have to authorize it.
Right. You are asking the customer to do manual labor. You are asking them to re-register their account, type in their password, and physically pull their credit card out of their wallet to enter the numbers again.
And that is immense friction. In e-commerce, friction kills conversions.
Which goes back to the absolute necessity of that welcome discount. You aren't just being generous. You are quite literally paying them for the 5 minutes of labor it takes to set up their new account. Money incredibly well spent.
This raises an important question, though. We have analyzed the software, the data, the customers, and the links. But what about the staff actually executing the operations?
The people on the front lines.
Even the most perfectly engineered, friction-free app will fail within hours if the kitchen staff does not intimately understand how to interact with it. The guide emphasizes that a new system requires a new POS interaction.
And let's quickly define that for everyone. POS is the point of sale system.
Right. It is the literal cash register and ticketing system in the restaurant. The new app has to talk directly to that POS so that the digital order automatically prints a physical ticket at the grill station exactly where the chef expects it.
Makes sense.
Furthermore, a new system means entirely new auditory and visual cues.
This is such a fascinating detail to me, because if the kitchen is conditioned to respond to a loud, aggressive buzz every time a GloriaFood order comes in, and the new tablet makes a soft, gentle ding,
the prep cook will unconsciously filter it out as background noise.
Wow.
They will simply ignore the tablet. If the staff misses orders during those crucial first few days of the launch, the operational flow collapses. This is why the guide stresses that training your team before launch is non-negotiable.
You have to prep them.
You have to run simulated test orders during a live service hour, specifically so the staff can hear those new notification sounds and see exactly how the new tickets format on the receipt paper.
You absolutely cannot spring an entirely new workflow on a busy kitchen team on a Friday night and expect anything less than a complete meltdown.
No, you have to secure their buy-in first.
So what does this all mean? If we zoom all the way out and look at the entirety of the sources we've covered today, migrating away from a basic widget like GloriaFood is not just an IT upgrade. It is not merely swapping one piece of code for another piece of code.
It really represents a fundamental strategic evolution for the business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is the transition from renting access to your customers and paying a steadily increasing premium for that rental as your business grows, to truly owning your brand, owning your behavioral data, and ultimately protecting your profit margins.
Right.
You are choosing to build equity in your own digital real estate instead of building it for a third-party delivery conglomerate.
And that concept of digital real estate leads to a rather profound final implication, I think. The source material is highly focused on the mechanics of customer data ownership. A branded app allows a business to meticulously track repeat orders, individual preferences, and contact information.
Yeah.
But if we extrapolate that idea,
Where does that level of data collection eventually lead us?
well, if a restaurant's true, long-term valuation is shifting away from its physical foot traffic and shifting toward the depth and predictive quality of its digital customer data. We are entering a strange new era of hospitality.
How so?
Could we soon see a world where a restaurant's physical location, the expensive dining room, the neon signage, the visibility on Main Street matters significantly less than the predictive algorithms powering its branded app?
Oh, that completely flips the industry on its head.
Think about it. If your proprietary app knows exactly when a specific customer is hungry, and it automatically sends them a perfectly timed push notification for their favorite meal right as they leave the office.
Yeah.
It genuinely does not matter if your kitchen is located on a bustling downtown corner or hidden in an industrial park on the edge of town. It fundamentally changes the very definition of what a restaurant actually is.
Wow.
Is it a physical place you go to gather? Or is it simply a localized logistics hub powered by consumer data?
It becomes less about the expensive real estate on the street and entirely about the incredibly valuable real estate on the smartphone screen.
Exactly.
It makes you think, how much of the modern world, whether we are talking about ordering food, consuming media, or retail shopping, is really just a brutal, invisible battle for a tiny square of space on your home screen.
A battle for attention.
And if you do not own that square yourself, someone else is going to gladly rent it to you for 30% of everything you make. Something to ponder the next time you tap an app while waiting for your takeout. Until next time, keep digging deeper.